Hi, Jem, and welcome to Talking Allergies. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We'll talk a little bit about your allergy story and a little bit about you.
I've had allergies for forever. Since I was a kid. I work in sport and education, and I'm an elite athlete. So, yeah, that's pretty much me.
So you're both an elite athlete and you work in the space as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it keeps me busy.
How did you first learn that you had allergies? Because you said it was from a young age.
So, Mum said that I had eczema heaps as a kid, and they couldn't figure out what I was reacting to, and then she took me to the doctor and they were like, oh yeah, she's lactose intolerant, but keep giving her dairy because she'll just grow out of it. And then I didn't grow out of it, but Mum was smart enough to not give me dairy. And then we found out later I was actually allergic to it, not just intolerant. And then everything else kind of snowballed from there.
So how did you find out that you were allergic if they didn't know for a long time and then you go, yes, you're now allergic? How did you know that?
Yeah. So I had a few reactions, I think in primary school, because they said don't eat dairy and Mum wouldn't have it at home, but everyone else had it at school, so I wanted it too. Or I'd have cheese or something and I'd just be violently ill really quickly, and then we did some allergy testing and there's definitely an allergy.
It's a good thing that you learned, okay, let's go get allergy tested from the reactions, because it was back when allergies weren't necessarily widely known.
Yeah, it was. Even trying to get doctors to do the allergy testing back then was really hard. Like, I'm fairly sure I've been to every immunologist and allergy doctor, or even some of the alternative stuff as well, to try and figure out what it is that was happening, because everyone's just like, no, you'll grow out of it. I'm like, I'm in my 30s now, I haven't grown out of it.
Did your allergies change over time?
Yeah, so they got a lot worse as I got older. When I was in high school, they figured out I was allergic to wheat and nuts. I think it was nuts. And then at the start of uni, they then figured out it was egg, and they think it was salicylates, but now they're changing that. Maybe I've grown out of that one, I'm not sure. So it was a lot of fruit and veggies were cut out. When COVID started, we found out I was allergic to hand sanitizer and disinfectant, because I'd never been exposed to that before. And then all of a sudden everyone was cleaning everything, and we walked into Woolies and I went into an allergic reaction just because someone in front of us had used the hand sanitizer, and it's the scent of whatever was in that. I don't know, that set me off. So since then, since COVID started, I think we're up to about 300 odd reactions. So it's fun.
That's probably an unexpected thing from COVID as well, that you just went, I didn't realise that was such a big reaction, and then going from it kind of like COVID and then through so many reactions.
Yeah.
How did you go about understanding it?
We struggled a lot, because previously it was food, and I know food allergies are hugely annoying and they're really difficult to manage, but compared to the chemical reactions that I'm now having, food allergies are easy. Like, I can avoid drinking milk, or I can avoid having the muesli bar with peanuts in it. That's relatively easy most of the time. But what I can't avoid is going to the shops and the person in front of me using hand sanitizer as they walk into Woolworths, or the person on the bus next to me having really strong scented perfume on. Like, it's incredibly difficult to manage that, because I can't go to those people and be like, hey, you can't use that, and because they have a right to use the hand sanitizer, because that's going to keep them safe from the germs or whatever it is. but that was a huge thing, like, and you'd get the announcements over the shopping centres going, your health and safety is our #1 priority. Please remember to use hand sanitizer. And it just makes me feel so angry going, but my health and safety isn't your priority because every single person in this shopping centre is being told to use hand sanitizer. That's going to kill me.
Mm.
So I had to stop going out. Or if I did go out, somebody had to be with me. Like, I lost the ability, I lost my independence, basically. Mum had to come grocery shopping with me just in case. And, you know, online shopping was great because I can do it that way. But just being able to, you know, if I'm on the way home from work and I want to get something from Coles, if I'm on my own, I can't do that. Just like, that was at the peak. Now it's people aren't using it so much, so I can go, or I'm very good at observing people, and if I can pick who's going to use it and who's not anymore. And if they're going to use it, I'll stand outside and wait, even if it takes 10 minutes, because 3 other people have walked in. I'll just wait. So that side of it's really frustrating, but it is what it is, and I can't. It's one of those things that's out of my control. So yeah, we try not to worry about it too much.
Can you bring it up in day-to-day life? Like, how do you manage bringing it up to people?
If I'm going somewhere with people that I know, or there's like a work event organised and we've got an external meeting, I'll email whoever it is that's organising it and be like, hey, I'm anaphylactic to these things. If I can't say to people, you can't wear it, but are you able to just advise people early that I'm going to be there, I have these reactions, and then that then makes so far everyone that I've done that to has sent an email or a message out, and then that puts the ownership on the other people to go, okay, I may cause harm to someone. So once I started doing that, most people have been pretty good and go, oh no, we won't wear it, or they'll pick something less scented. So yeah, that's the only way I can really manage it, or try and or avoid the places where I know it's possibly going to be really bad. So I don't know, like if I was going to go to a concert or something, or at a bar, then I probably wouldn't. But yeah, it just depends.
You wouldn't tell them if you're going to the bar, or you wouldn't go to the bar?
I wouldn't go to the bar.
Oh.
Like, yeah, if it's going to be too risky and there's too many allergens, then yeah, it's sometimes you just have to avoid it.
How do you ascertain that risk between being able to say, you know, understanding the risks of going versus not going, or what places would you go to?
Yeah, it's tricky. It's really tricky to figure that out. I kind of just have to do a bit of research into where it is that I'm going, what's going to be around. Like if I'm going to a friend's house, they get the message going, what are you cooking? What are we doing? Is, you know, are you going to decide to cook toast halfway through this? Because you can't do that around me. Or, yeah, but public stuff, it sort of comes down to how badly do I want to go. And if I can manage the risks, I will. If I figure out that I can't and it's just going to be too hard, then yeah, we'll give that one a miss. Yeah.
It's very hard to know what ones to go with and what ones not to. So it's really good that you know, okay, there's these risks associated with going here, and I'll just give it a miss.
Yeah, or sometimes if I really, really, really want to go, then hopefully it's on a day where the next day I have like a day off. So if I was to have a reaction, the impact on the next day isn't as drastic, if that makes sense. Like I can rest or whatever I need to do.
As a professional athlete and someone that works in sports, how do you manage having allergic reactions to something that's in the air that is commonly used in sports?
Yeah, I've actually noticed a lot of people don't tend to spray deodorant as much. There's a few of the younger guys do. But once again, like, my coach is amazing. He's really good. We have a backup plan for when I have reactions to adjust training. And then the events organisers, they know of my condition. I've had allergic reactions during races, or just before a race because someone's used hand sanitizer as I'm walking to the start line. So yeah, they all know who I am, and I carry my orange box, my EpiPens in it. And so they're all like, we email them before we go to the race, or actually before I enter, and say, look, these are the races that we're coming to. They've got a plan if I have a reaction, and they also know who my support person is for that race. So sometimes it's my coach, sometimes it's my mum or one of my friends, and they know those people. So they're going to go to them, or they'll do a loudspeaker if I'm falling over on the track and not, having a bad one. But that's only happened twice, I think. I've had to pull out of a few races, but I think I've only had 2 actually on the race. Yeah, where it kicked in halfway through, which wasn't ideal, but I finished the race.
How have you, you said that you carry your orange medication everywhere. When did you start carrying it, and how have you found carrying it around?
It would have been COVID when the reactions started getting really bad, because people, when I go out in public, people had to know if I've fallen over that I've got a medical condition. It usually doesn't bother me, except that it's a big heavy thing, and attaching it to handbags or my backpack, I quite often get whacked in the back of the head with it because it just doesn't sit right. But it gives me a bit more security of, okay, if I have a reaction, then it's there, it's right next to me. So I'm not having to say, oh, it's in the bag, it's over there, can you go and get it? And someone's, like at the gym, they've got shared locker spaces, someone's trying to sort through that. My EpiPen is right next to me. So yeah, it doesn't bother me too much, except when I get whacked in the head. But yeah, I've had a few people come up to me, especially at the airports, and go, that is awesome, like, that helps us. I think it was one of the first aid officers that goes, he just came up to me and was like, that is fantastic, you've got your medical stuff so visible. And I was like, oh, okay. Didn't really think about it. But yeah, if other people notice it, then it's a good thing, I guess.
Do other people with allergies notice it as well?
I haven't had anyone come up and say anything. It was only the security guys in the airport. Yeah, it doesn't have, it's just an orange bag with the white cross on it. It doesn't actually say anaphylaxis or anything because I've got the bands on my wrist. And it, like, my action plan and stuff is in the bag, but yeah, I haven't had any allergy people say anything about it, I don't think.
How do you find using all of the different elements? You've got the bands, the medical alerts, action plans on you. How do you find that people react to having all of those elements, and does it comfort you in a way?
Yeah, I get a lot of questions about my bands, because they've got, I don't know if you can see them, the list of allergens on them. Quite often when I'm working with the kids, they'll go, oh, what's that? What's all the writing on there? And then they start to ask a lot of questions and go, oh, so you can't eat chocolate. That's not fun. And then someone will pipe up, oh, my sister can't have that either, she's got an EpiPen too. So it's kind of spreading the awareness a little bit. I find with the kids, it's the most, that's what they're drawn to, and that starts the conversation. Haven't had too many adults ask why I wear them, but I think when I have bigger reactions, I tend to be with someone that I know, or I'm at work, so the people around me know what to do. But I mostly got them because just in case I am on my own somewhere and I fall over, then the ambos will check it.
It's a great awareness piece, and that it's something that you bring up to the kids as well, and that they get that connection.
Yeah, they like. A few of them have said, "Can we have one?" I'm like, "You get a cool band, not one that has all these allergies on. You don't want the allergies."
Well, they just think that the cool one's on you.
Yeah.
With managing allergies and work, and being the adult in the scenario and managing your own allergies, how do you deal with that day to day?
It can be really difficult because sometimes allergens, especially when I'm working with kids, they just forget, and someone will open yogurt in front of me without thinking, or I walk past where they're eating and it's there and I'm gone. My bosses have been really good at putting in place strategies or awareness things. Like, we talk to the kids about, everyone in this place has allergies. Well, not everyone, but all of the people with allergies. We talk about everybody and how to manage that, how to recognize reactions. I carry in the front of my medicine bag, there is a card that says if I have a reaction, to phone the head office and for them to tell them where I am and that I'm having a reaction. So all of the kids know if I happen to be with them at that point in time, I give them that card. They know what to do. I've also got colleagues who work with me, so I'm not really alone a lot of the time. It might only be for a short period. And then I've got my phone on me, so I just ring the boss if I start feeling a bit off, or someone goes, "You're purple, you're looking like a balloon," or "You've just gone really red." Like, they're pretty good at spotting stuff. And one of my colleagues actually can tell by the sound of my voice if I'm having a reaction before I've realized. Like, I answered one of her phone calls the other day and she goes, "You're having a reaction, have your medicine now, I'm coming." And I was like, "But I feel fine. There's nothing wrong." She's like, "Go and check. You're slurring your words." And I went and looked in the mirror and my tongue was swollen and my face was swollen. I'm like, don't know what it was. But yeah, they're pretty good at work with identifying reactions.
Learning about your allergies to going through, has anyone helped you through your life with allergies?
Probably Mum the most. Like, she used to make safe cupcakes and treats for me to have at other people's birthday parties because she knew I couldn't have the cake when I was little. And then as I've gotten older, she'll travel to races with me, or during COVID and that, she did all my grocery shopping because I couldn't do it. And now, like, my colleagues at work are very good, and yeah, they've helped me out a bit. My coaches have always been awesome at looking after me and looking out for me. And yeah, it's pretty much, I haven't really had too many problems with people supporting me once they understand what's going on.
How do you go about telling them about it? Because you said once they understand or once they know. How do you go about making them understand and knowing about your allergies and the reactions?
Pretty well, because they're so bad with the perfumes and deodorants and things, I have to tell people pretty quickly. Like, it's not like the food stuff where I can sort of wait until, there's a function or something where there's food. I have to tell them almost before I meet them. So if a new colleague starts at work, I send an email to them and say, "Hey, this is me. Just so you're aware, I have this condition. Please don't spray deodorant near me or wear perfume. Or if you have, let me know so I can avoid you. And I'm not trying to be rude about it." And then, yeah, we tell people early, or if they do come up and talk to me and I can smell whatever it is they're wearing, I just have to politely go, hey, sorry, I'm allergic to whatever it is you're wearing, and I have to walk away, because otherwise it doesn't end well for me.
Sounds like you've gotten that down pat with learning who to tell, why, and then even beforehand, before you meet them.
Yeah. I try to. I still struggle a bit with restaurants. I don't know why. Like, being like, yeah, I'm allergic to all these food. And I think because the list is so long, I'm kind of like, yeah, go with dairy and eggs and wheat, and I'll deal with the rest later, which is not ideal, but yeah.
How has the impact of allergies been on your life?
As a kid, it was all right because Mum had it pretty well handled. I think the COVID chemical allergies has been the worst because it wiped me out of everything. Like, I couldn't go to the gym. So that really interrupted my strength training when you can't go to the gym where all the equipment is. So I had to get stuff at home and couldn't see my coach. Then not being able to go to the shops and losing a whole lot of independence was really hard, because when you're in your late 20s, early 30s, and all of a sudden you're back to being a teenager going, Mum, I need to go to the shop. Can you take me to the shop? Or having to tell them exactly where I'm going just in case I do have a reaction. Like, that was the hardest bit with that stuff. Was, the loss of independence.
As an adult that's lost sort of that independence, is there any advice that you would give to other adults that might be going through reactions and losing some independence?
Speak up and ask for help. Like, there's no shame in having people come and help you out. I'm lucky I'm still at home, so Mum can help me out a lot. But I also think asking your friends for help, because they want to help you. And yeah, just making sure that when they do help you, you say thank you and kind of do something in return as well. But yeah, it's just find the people that can help, and the ones who don't want a bar of it, just forget about them, would be my advice. Yeah.
Have you found that people that you've got so many supportive people that you've mentioned, have you ever found people that aren't supportive?
Yeah, there's a few people at work that have in the past, like, gone, oh yeah, I want toast, so I'm going to cook the toast, but I'm not going to tell you. And that's really frustrating because it's a known allergen and they were aware of it. But most of my friends have been pretty good. And most people, once you kind of explain to them, are pretty good. So I haven't come across too many issues, but I think a lot of it just comes down to people not being educated as to how serious it is, and that allergens aren't just nuts. Because a lot of it comes down to, people are told that, oh, if you're allergic, like on the airplanes, you can't have peanuts, but they kind of forget about all of the other allergens as well. And yeah, educating them that it's also not just kids, like it's adults. Adults can still have this stuff as well. And yeah, I think it just comes down to education and people understanding it. And I found once people have witnessed a major reaction, then they start going, oh, it is actually that bad. It's not just her avoiding it.
You said that there's been people that don't understand that adults can still have allergies. What would you say to people that do say that to you? Because what do you say in day-to-day life if someone goes, oh, I didn't realise that adults could have allergies?
No, I tend to just go, well, here you go, look at the band. It's like, there's not much you can do. They're just, I guess a lot of the allergy focus is on kids, and there's not a lot for adults. So the more we can get it out there, I guess, the more people will realise that you don't necessarily grow out of it.
If you came across someone that was struggling to deal with being an adult with allergies, is there any words of advice or support that you would say to them?
Come join the Allergy Life adults support groups because they're awesome. But I reckon it does get easier once you know what you need to avoid. And like do your research, find the supermarkets, there's online shops that specialize in allergies, and it's so much easier now than it was 20 years ago. Like when I first got told not to have gluten, it was you're on rice cakes and fruit salad, and that was it. But now you can get cupcakes and bread, and it's yummy food. So yeah, I reckon just do your research and don't be embarrassed to tell people. Like speak up for yourself because it will save your life. Like if you don't tell the person at the restaurant that you can't have wheat, and then they go, oh, you can have a little bit, and I've had restaurants do that. Like you're gonna end up in hospital. You've got to stand up for yourself and protect yourself. So yeah.
So do you say that to them by saying the allergy and the type of reaction that you get to them to get them to have a full understanding?
Yeah.
Or how do you do that?
Yeah, I find a lot of people, once you bring it up, they start asking what happens. So they want to know, what are you going to get? Like, I think they understand, like with celiacs, you're going to get a stomach ache. And then I start going through, well, my tongue's going to swell up. I'm going to stop breathing. I might turn blue. Like my face is going to swell up. I get really disorientated, all those things. And then people start going, oh, that's actually really serious. So, yeah. Just starting conversation, I guess.
Is there anything else that you would like to share to either adults living with allergies or kids living with allergies?
Not really. Just that it's our superpower. That's what my immunologist always says. He's like, you've got superpowers. You can smell things before other people do. And yeah, it's just, it makes you, I don't know, I guess it makes us a bit special and makes us interesting. Gives you something to talk about. For someone that doesn't have that type of allergy that they can smell it, can you describe what you're meaning by that? Well, like, I've got hypersensitivity to chemicals, so I can smell things like I can smell things before other people can, if that makes sense. So like you might use hand sanitizer, I don't know, 10 meters away from me, and usually with diffusion the particles spread slowly, but I can smell it immediately. It's really weird. I don't really know how to explain it. Is it that you smell anything immediately, or you just smell something that you're allergic to immediately? I think it's anything, but my body goes into hyperdrive when it is an allergen. So my immunologist once described it that back in the olden days when we were like cavemen or something, I'd be the person that would alert people to a bushfire that was kilometers away and which way it was coming so that I could keep the tribe safe. That was the genetic side of it or something. I don't know. That was the analogy, is that the right word, that he used. So, yeah. That's pretty special if your allergist is saying that you've got a superpower. Yeah. So sometimes it's helpful if there's a bushfire coming. I can smell it and tell you to move, but when it's hand sanitizer or someone sprayed deodorant, it's not so helpful. But yeah. Well, thank you so much for telling your story, Jem, and for talking about your work and living with allergies as an adult and a professional athlete. No worries.